last week I did a video where I did a build out for a 2022 Dodge Challenger Hellcat Redeye Jailbreak. And then I went down to the Dodge dealership and I ordered that car. And this is my absolute pinnacle dream car. This video is not meant to be a complaint in any way, shape, or form when it comes to being ungrateful for the position that I'm in or anything like that. But anytime I do a video highlighting the positives of something, I'm also going to talk about the negatives. On my channel, I'm all about transparency and honesty. And anytime you spend money on something, there are going to be some things that you don't like. Now, when the Hellcat Redeye Jailbreak was announced, Dodge made it sound to me like it was the be-all end-all of customization options, and I feel like there were some things that were disappointing, I would say, but judging by the comments that I got on those two videos that I've done, some people agree with that aspect. There were things that I was disappointed in when it came to the customization options on the Hellcat Jailbreak. So in this video, I want to detail the things that I was disappointed with, that I wish that they would have done a little bit different. Now, the first thing is the fact that they nickel and dime you on the upgrades. You pay $1,000 for the Jailbreak package to be unlocked. That in and of itself is an upcharge. You only get a 10 horsepower difference in the Jailbreak from the standard Redeye, which that's cool. Not going to complain about that, but it's a $1,000 upgrade just to unlock the options available for the Jailbreak. Now, you would think paying the $1,000 more to unlock the customization options, that you would have at least some sort of a discount on the upgrades, or a discount on the customization options or something like that, or they would be included in the package. You would think it would be an all-in-one package deal, but no. When it came time to do the customization options, you pay $1,000 for the upgrade, and you still have to pay for each individual thing that you change. I figured that was going to be the case. I didn't think that they were going to offer $1,000 and then you could just pick and choose whatever you wanted. But at the same time, it doesn't cost Dodge anything more for you to choose the options that you choose. It's not like you're picking 7 different wheel sets, that you could just get 7 sets of rims. Like you're just choosing which wheel sets you want. You're choosing which color seat belts you want. It doesn't cost them anything more for you to customize the car. And you would think if you're paying the $1,000 upcharge that these things would include the ability to pick and choose your options, without having to be, charged $1,200 here, $3,000 here, $4,000 here. It's one of those things where I expected better from that. The base package is $80,000, and when all was said and done, we ended up around $95,000. And this isn't even referring to the technology group or the plus group or anything like that. This was just strictly off of customizations. I was kind of hoping that with the $1,000 upcharge, that would include the ability to pick and choose the things that you wanted in your car without being charged for every single customization, but that wasn't the case. The second thing that I was disappointed in was the color palette choices. Now, I get the color palette is the color palette. It's been that way for a couple of years now, but you would think if they were going to bring out the ability to completely customize your car, and you can pick and choose all these different things, especially like the hammerhead gray seats weren't available before, you would think that they would give you the option to choose past colors that were discontinued. I would have loved the plum crazy purple option. I would have loved destroyer gray. I would have loved redline. I'm not the biggest fan of Touareg because Touareg has an orangish tint to it. They have 3 different shades of orange in the color palette, but not a true red. You would think that they would have a red color option. I've wanted a red Challenger for a long time, and Touareg just doesn't do it for me. I also would have loved destroyer gray or plum crazy purple, absolutely. I'm not a fan of the color choices that they've made over the last couple of years to replace B5 Blue Pearl Coat with Frostbite, to replace Plum Crazy Purple with Hell Raisin, to replace Destroyer Gray with Smoke Show. There are these muddy colors that don't look nearly as good as previous Dodge Challenger and Charger colors, and I would have liked if with this new Jailbreak option that we would have had access to some of the past colors. Just a thought. The third thing that I was disappointed with was the ability to choose wheel color. If you're going to give 7 different rim options, you would think that you would also have the ability to choose what color those wheels were painted. I went with the Devil's rims, but they're an aluminum color. They're not black. I would have liked the ability for those wheels to be black. They show you can put them in bronze or you can make them aluminum, and I would have liked them to be done in black. As soon as I get my car, chances are I'm going to take it to a rim shop and have the wheels powder coated black. But it would have been nice if I'm paying an extra $1,000 for choosing a different set of wheels than the standard ones, which I don't know anybody who would want the standard wheels. They're not very attractive at all for an almost $100,000 car. You would think if you chose a different set of wheels that they would also give you the ability to have those wheels in the color that you want them, especially when they're talking about endless customization options. That's just, again, that's my thought on it. The next set of gripes, if you want to call it that, that I'm talking about are basically the technology that goes into the car. Now we're talking, it's 2021 going into 2022. I hear a lot of gripes about people talking about the interior of the Charger and the Challenger. I personally don't have any gripes with the interior of the Charger and the Challenger. My 2020 Charger Daytona is spec'd all the way out. It has the carbon fiber weave, it has suede headliner, suede steering wheel, it has all the options. But there are options that they've already put in the Durango as well as the Ram trucks that they're not bringing to the Charger, and I would have thought that those would be options for this year. For example, the uconnect 5. I was told from several months ago, before the Jailbreak was even announced, that uconnect 5 was going to be standard in the Charger and the Challenger for this year, being that the Durango already had uconnect 5 and the Ram trucks are getting it this year. There's no excuse to not put that package, to not put uconnect 5 in the Charger and Challenger, being that their other lineup of cars already have it. The 10.1 inch uconnect 5 display in the Durango is already in the Durango. The uconnect 5 is coming to the Ram trucks for 2022 model year. It should have been in the Charger and the Challenger. There's no reason for it not to be in the Charger and Challenger, other than they just didn't want to spend the money to put them in there this year. That brings me to my next point. The surround sound camera system that has been in the Ram trucks for the last couple of years is still not available in the Charger and the Challenger. If any set of cars needs the surround camera system, it's the Charger and the Challenger. When you sit down low in a car that feels like a spaceship and you have a splitter that's just a couple inches off the ground that you're worried about scrubbing on a curb or in a parking lot somewhere where they have barriers, you would think that surround camera system would be available as an option. I can't tell you how nervous I get pulling up to a parking space and worrying, and I worry that I'm going to hit my front splitter on the parking barriers in between parking spaces. It's stressful, and I luckily to this point I've not hit that in my Charger, but I did hit it in my 392 Challenger a couple of years ago and tore my front splitter up. Sure, that might be driver error, but at the same time, if you're going to put that surround camera system in the trucks, make it an option in the cars so that you can look at what you're doing when you're parking your car. It would be nice as an option. I know my Durango, it will tell me when I'm getting close, but it doesn't give me the option to see what I'm looking at. That surround camera system in the trucks is really nice, and you can actually see what's in front of you. It'd be nice if they put those in the Charger and Challenger, and here we are yet again for another model year and it's not available. I'm sure they're probably holding out for the 24 models when they do a complete refresh, but put them in the cars now. We're buying the cars now. It's technology that you've put in other vehicles. Put them in the cars now. The last thing that I want to say about the technology packages that weren't available for the Charger and Challenger that are available in the Ram trucks is the rear view camera system. Again, this is something that the trucks have had for a couple of years now, and I want it in my car. I would love to have the ability to hit a button on the mirror and have a camera show me what's behind me with the rear view mirror. If you've ever seen this in the Ram trucks, it's such a cool option to have. And if you're going to have it in your other vehicles, go ahead and put it in all of the vehicles, or at least give the option for the customer to pay for that. We're talking about a car that you're paying almost $100,000 for that's fully customizable. I want the option to pay for that or give it to me standard one way or the other, but at least the option to add it to a package. If I'm paying for technology group, then I would like that to be in the technology group, because if you buy a Ram truck, that's part of the technology group. The last thing that I'll talk about in my list of disappointments in the Challenger, Hellcat, Redeye, Jailbreak is the lack of a manual transmission option. And this wasn't surprising, but it was a little disappointing. And you're talking about one of the last 2 years available in these cars, and people want the manual. I personally like driving a manual car. I would have still chosen automatic simply because where I live, there's a lot of congestion, a lot of traffic, a lot of stop and start, and I prefer the automatic transmission. But if the comments are any indication on the number of people who would have liked to have had a Redeye Jailbreak in a manual, there is demand for the manual transmission in these cars. If you want a manual transmission in a Hellcat, you can't get the manual transmission in anything over a standard Hellcat. And even with the standard Hellcat, I've been hearing that those cars aren't even being built even when they're being ordered. A lot of customers are complaining that their manual Hellcats aren't being built, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting. You would think for the last couple of model years the manual transmission would be more readily available, and these cars that they're talking about is to being fully customizable. Now again, those are my gripes, those are my grievances, those are my disappointments with the Challenger Hellcat Redeye Jailbreak. That does not mean that I'm not over the moon excited about this car. I love pretty much everything else. I picked the car exactly as I would have wanted it, within reason. I did forego a couple of minor options that I would have liked to have had, but I wanted to keep my car under $95,000 simply because I'm also going to purchase a Ram TRX, and I didn't want to have a $100,000 car and a $100,000 truck. I try to keep my budget reasonable for me and my family, and I want to be responsible with my budget. But I did not forego any of the options that I absolutely had to have. There were some minor things that I didn't choose, but you know, those are minor things that I can always add later. I did spec out the car the way that I wanted it, and I'm happy. I can't wait to get my car early next year. And so I didn't want this to come across as just a negative video, but again, I want to be transparent with my videos. I want to be open and honest in my videos. There were a lot of comments from people who had the same kind of complaints that I had. So if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified for all the videos. I appreciate you guys watching, and y'all take it easy.